Humans saw this and said grades determine your life. That's not true. Grades don't determine our lives, because even if we get good grades, we could end up flipping burgers at the end of the day. Not even that, burgers is if we're lucky. In this video, we'll be covering what unlucky people are experiencing. By that we mean, how does it feel like to be unemployed? Feels bad, right? I wanted to talk about unemployment because I'm from some developed nation where it feels like everybody around me is college educated, working white-collar, high-skilled jobs, and sometimes we feel like they take stable employment and being able to accumulate substantial savings for granted. Sometimes, and just sometimes, I feel like they think that they achieved everything on their own. I never agree with that. Sorry. Hard work may not lead to a better life. This whole article came out back in 2020, and if I had to guess, it probably still holds water today, probably. But don't worry, this video isn't a debate on how true it is or not. Maybe another time. All I'm trying to say is only our choices and actions are within our control. How the world treats us as a result isn't really up to us. So come along, we want to show you what we mean by that through some snippets of people's lives we've collected. I'm Phil. I'm Pierce. I'm Todd. And everything not saved will be lost. Safe to say, here are some things about career that aren't lost. You know the jokes about millennials whose bank account is only a few dollars? You guys have savings? Wait, are you serious? You don't? There are people who will be able to respond like that. These are the people around me. I think that's called doing okay in the rat race. It's a given to some people. It's honestly how reality works for them. Thing is, if you've ever met people like this, they're quite nice actually. They're not particularly entitled or out of touch. Like most modern humans, they just expect to live at a certain level of creature comfort. And in fairness, they work hard at their high-skilled jobs. Gotta give them that. Maybe they'll complain about the stress they're under and how hard they're working. But that's okay, right? Can't be helped. Got let off a little steam, the race is tough. But here's where we get to my problem with them. Look, I'm sure all of us would love to believe in our ability to attain the results we want, and that our efforts are rewarded accordingly. But no matter how well we're doing, how smart and high-skilled we are, how hard we work, something we entirely don't deserve can still happen. Anyone else feeling betrayed? Growing up, I was told that if I worked hard, I would reap the rewards. Get good grades, go to a good college, do internships, take leadership positions, etc. and you'll get a good job and have a good career. Well, I did all that, worked my off, neglected my mental health, stayed up late every night going above and beyond for my classes, and it took me months to find my first job out of school. I did everything I could there. I was a team player, raised my hand for more work, was involved in interest groups, and showed up to happy hours, only to be laid off a month before my 1 year. Now it's been 10 months and I'm still unemployed, working at a part-time job I hate, making money. It makes my chronic pain worse. I've cried multiple times after work or in the walk-in, and I'm contemplating quitting. I am incredibly grateful to be in a situation where I'm still surviving, but I just feel so betrayed. I did everything right, and I have nothing to show for it. Even if I get another job, I could be let go again. This could happen to me 1,000 times over. What's the point? We're guessing OP1 here is about 2 years into working adult life, so the bruising from reality is still kind of fresh. They still remember their ideals enough for it to hurt. I feel bad for OP1. I think a lot of people might. More like, I feel helpless. I wouldn't even know how to answer them to make it make sense. This is terrible. They don't deserve this. Now, let's say that's a regular person's instinct, to respond to suffering with sympathy. On the other hand, there's also the type of people who'd react to OP1's post with something along the lines of, "You're naive and don't know how the world works." That's what you get for just following what you're told blindly. If you started thinking for yourself earlier, you wouldn't have ended up here. Okay, first off, yikes. Know anyone who might sound like that? Well, to make it quicker moving forward, we're going to refer to such people as the bootstrapping high horse type. This is the worst version of people who think they achieved everything on their own. They'll always have stories about how hard they worked for their success. But hard work alone still isn't enough. They'll also swear by working smart. Now, ironically, these people who work smart never seem to think that those who get good grades are smart. So this is the worst because working smart is just some magic combination of actual intelligence like strategy and foresight, opportunism, timing, and occasionally even ruthlessness. No one can really prove or disprove how working smart led to success, so these people get to stay on their high horses and dismiss OP1 self-righteously. We're gonna hold on to OP1 and move along because we're gonna see some patterns. RANT, 600 jobs applied, 11 interviews, 100 plus rejections. I'm about to explode. Infuriated, frustrated, angry, and disappointed are only just the tip of it. I feel like I want to shriek, cry, pound my fists on the ground and walls. I am truly, so truly tired of job hunting. I don't know what's wrong with me. I understand that it's a numbers game. I understand I have to keep trying. I understand that I'm new, so opportunities won't just present itself to me, but I feel I am justified to an answer of what is wrong. I graduated from a good university, good GPA, major in business economics and a minor in data science, wanting to go into the financial and business analytical role. With these projects and a semi-relevant work experience, I thought I would be the perfect fit for any role regarding this, but I'm seeing that this is not the truth. I went through 3 rounds of interviews, with the final round talking to 5 different people for 30 minutes each, answering behavioral questions for an entry-level role in finance. The first 2 hit off wonderfully, but this one only really stumbled with 1 person. Guess that was enough to get a rejection. I spent so much time prepping and just bringing up any relevant and unique experiences I had, only to be rejected. I'm so angry. I went to the office, studied the company, studied my resume, came up with 5 different stories only to be rejected at the last moment. Other interviews where it went amazing have met the same. I'm wondering if I should switch careers. I hear healthcare is nice and stable. I know I'm not the unordinary in this. I know this is regular, but I'm starting to feel like I am an outlier and I should redirect my career path into something else. I'm not the smartest, but I am smart. I work hard. I know I can do amazing if someone is just willing to offer me training and guidance. What should I do? Keep trying? Switch my career path? Go to grad school so I can qualify for internships again? OP2's post is more detailed, isn't it? I wanted us to get a better grasp of the depths of this experience a little more. Sit with it a little, then keep going. I can't actually tell what stage of life OP2 is at here. I'm assuming graduated college a few months and jobless. The first cut is the deepest. That huge number of jobs applied? OP must be hitting the easy apply, sending the same resume and cover letter in bulk. They're not being targeted or smart about it. There's no strategy. Of course they're not going to get a job. Okay, again, yikes. See, bootstrapping high horses are really good at finding some way we could be working smarter. I mean, what kind of person doubles down on being self-righteous at another human being who's already suffering more than we are? Anyway, OP2 asks for perspectives at the end, so let's see what other people offer. Everyone and their dog ran into data analytics. Oh, for real? I didn't know that. My friend was just talking about pivoting to data analytics, and I should probably... I mean, how would we have known? How would anyone know? Obviously, use your brain more. Read the news to observe what's trending. Work smarter. I'm in the same exact position as you. I'm even applying to the same roles as you. I've been mass applying. Mass applying. They're not being targeted or smart about it. There's no strategy. Of course they're not going to get a job. You know, problems arise or don't based on how people respond to situations. So sometimes the problem isn't only the person, but also their situation. I hate to say this, but it's purely luck. In no way, shape, or form is it a reflection of you, your skills, your marketability, or worth. Another story. Looked for 11 months after graduating, contract job for 13 months, then let go of. 4 more months of looking, and first full-time job. Okay, that's great. As other commenters have said, please take some kind of solace in knowing you're not even close to being alone. Thousands of others are in the same boat as you. Even around the world, it's happening. It's not your fault, OP2. It's not you. Even when everyone around you is doing okay in the rat race and no one understands your pain, you're not the problem here. I don't freaking understand why I'm still unemployed. 1 year. I seriously don't. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. Over 7 years of experience in project management, e-commerce, digital marketing, and analytics just thrown out the window. I read job descriptions and I think this is right up my alley, yet I keep running into one rejection after the other. I tailor my resume to each job, etc. It's a 1-page resume with achievements and metrics there. I'm just at an absolute loss and feel helpless. It's crazy because my family sees me as this confident, go-getter person with experience, yet I can't get a freaking job. It is truly maddening. Now I know I can't compare myself to others, but seriously, the people at my old job who slacked off most of the time are the ones still employed. I see people getting jobs with less experience than me, with no issues, yet here I am. Where does that leave me? Probably homeless in 2 months. Yes, I am serious. Yes, it is scary and I try not to think about it because I've already lost my damn mind in this process. I do my absolute best and try every strategy out there to yield no results. How wonderful. Unlike our first 2 OPs, OP3 is a full-fledged working adult, fitting the high-skilled, white-collar corporate type at that. In this post, OP3 is jobless and scared. Well, at least here the high horses can't say this OP is mass applying. You're right, they can't. Did you really think I was going to defend a broken, unfair, unwinnable situation? Finally, it's not you, OP3, it's the market. But then what, you know? It's the market, okay, it is. Then what's gonna happen? Is someone gonna help them? Because, I mean, when push comes to shove, anybody out there struggling financially only has themselves to rely on. I don't know, Pierce, can this be a lesson in empathy? If we're tripling down on bootstrapping self-help, is there a chance we are losing touch with our humanity? Hey, all I'm saying is no amount of empathy is going to help OP1, 2, or 3 pay the bills. I mean, it might help with a GoFundMe campaign. No, Pierce is pretty much right on this one.
I run a website that hosts popularity contests where if you lose, you die.
It's not like everyone can rely on GoFundMe to save their lives. Well, at the end of the day, it may not be much because it doesn't help financially, but if it adds even a little motivation to live to whoever is hurting, then we'll take that for what it's worth. Speaking of which, we have other commenters here who affirm OP3's experience about how it was way easier to get a job as recently as 2 years ago, with far less qualifications. 0 experience, data analytics, just a certification, in less than a month, 2 offers. Now 2 years of experience and laid off, can't get an interview while also having a degree. Temporary job as a customer service rep, still waiting to get a job in my field. First job out of college in web, 15-minute phone interview. Now almost 10 months and every interview is 4 to 5 rounds with a panel and I don't get hired at the end. I can't even get a job in retail or customer service because all my work experience is in web. Well, OP3, as other commenters have said, please take some kind of solace in knowing you're not even close to being alone, courtesy of OP2. Actually, more importantly than empathy, can this be a lesson in individual agency or lack thereof? You know, fun fact, but the literal act of pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps is physically impossible. It's how the phrase was originally used in the first place. We can't lift ourselves off the ground by pulling up our own footwear. We can't pull ourselves off the ground in general. We can only push ourselves off the ground. That's jumping. So like a mother can carry her baby by lifting it off the ground, but telling that mother to carry herself like the baby and lift herself off the ground, that's impossible. Yeah, that's pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. Make sense? Anyway, no worries if it doesn't, it's just a fun little nugget of info. Wow, Phil, you know how to have fun? Just a friendly reminder that we're small, insignificant pieces with very little actual control over external circumstances, let alone our destinies and so-called greatness. Homeless in 2 months, even after maximum effort and brain power. Hopefully, we all have loved ones that we can rely on who understand that we can do everything right and still lose. I'm not saying don't work our hardest and do our best anyway. I'm just suggesting maybe relax and slow down when judging each other, at least just a little. This job market has officially broken me. I didn't even realize until I recapped this past year to someone I was talking to, but this market and what it's doing to us. I remember back in the summer months and early fall, I was so optimistic and excited to try and make a change in my life and career. But my attitude now has become entirely pessimistic and something I hate. I still have a job and I'm thankful for that, but I feel like I'm not even the same person. I've been looking since April of last year. I feel like I'm horribly underqualified with all the ridiculous they're requiring just for entry-level positions, either to never give you the time of day or send you a half-assed rejection email 5 weeks later. I used to listen to the people telling me, don't worry if you don't meet all the requirements, just apply. What's the worst that could happen? The worst is this. I'm stuck in a job I hate with no hope or optimism of escaping. I've tried for almost a year and had less than a handful of legitimate interviews. I've recorded cringy one-way interviews that I pour over an hour's worth of content into and never even get a response. I spend all of my free time pursuing something I feel I'll never get. How are people surviving this mentally? I thought I was strong. I have to choose between having a hobby or using all my time spent not working, trying to impress people who don't give a single f to even listen to your pitch for yourself. Can anyone give me some silver lining here? Or is this how everyone else feels? Yeah, at this point, to every adult out there who must work, how do we feel about the job hunt? Like, imagine someone told us right now, your job doesn't exist anymore and you have to get a new job. How would we feel? None of us like job hunting, I'm sure. It's difficult and uncertain, and if we didn't have to do it, a lot of us just might not. But who here would describe the job hunt as something that breaks our spirits and makes us lose our minds? If that's not the first description for us, I'm glad for you, because it definitely feels like something all our OPs would agree on. At the very least, now we can wrap our heads around the depths of despair. OP4 even tries to be thankful for the job they hate. Come to think of it, OP1 was grateful for their survival too, despite being in a job that they hate. Can you remember the last time you felt so dissonant? It's probably not a nice feeling. What's the matter? Not just any job is good enough for all these high-skilled workers? Literally, yes. That's the whole point of upskilling. Well, if no one wants their skills, there's nothing up about it. Beggars can't be choosy. They're not beggars. Not yet. So the choice is do something you hate or be a beggar? Yeah. Isn't that exactly what's wrong with the rat race? Actually we have some more comments for this since OP4 asked for different perspectives. I recently got hired at a low-paying job with the intention of staying until I find something better while also gaining experience. I was unemployed for a year and I have no clue how to advance my career as I'm making peanuts. That's the neat part. You don't get to. Most places now don't have a defined path upward. You have to jump ship every time to get the raises you deserve. Okay, I thought that was going to be some silver lining, but now I just feel worse. Hey, look, Pierce, another comment mentioned your type of people. HR and con posters disagree. Shocker. Right from the playbook. The economy is amazing. Everyone is desperate for people. You need to try harder. Just apply to everything. Go in person. Your generation is lazy. Okay, real quick. Please no age discrimination here because the job market hates us all regardless. Older people have shared some of the worst job hunt horror stories here. We just happen to not cover them in this video. No one wants to work. I have a co-worker who used to make these comments until she started applying for jobs herself. Not a peep. Everyone who says this is virtue signaling to exit the convo as fast as possible because even they don't want to face the misery they know you're going through secondhand. Oh, okay, actually that's our bad. Are y'all hanging in there? Is the amount of secondhand misery too much? Just a little more. We're almost done. My company is interviewing all these PhDs who have been unemployed for 6+ months. I got this same engineering role with a bachelor's and probably get paid more than them. Well, OP4, that explains why you feel horribly underqualified with the requirements for just entry-level positions. You're not the problem. It's the situation. The years where it was easier to get that high-skilled job with far less qualifications have passed. Hopefully they come back. Alright, one last fast one for the road. To bring it back full circle, I finally found a full-time job at a fast food place. I finally found a job after a year and a half. It's at least something to get paid for doing something. I couldn't find a job related to my computer science career. This is coming from a guy who used to work for NASA. Well, look at that. NASA OP isn't too good for flipping burgers. P.S. There's something wrong with a world where a NASA coder has to choose between becoming a fry cook or a beggar. Well, all I'm trying to say is only our choices and actions are within our control. How the world treats us as a result isn't really up to us, you know? Grades don't determine our lives. We barely determine our lives. Phil, we can't answer for how the world has treated these people. We can only control ourselves in being just another pixel of the world that listens. Please, Todd, how many of the world's problems can be solved by each of us becoming better people individually? Best before dead. Here at LTAp, we make content about what it means to live well, as a kind of answer to everything. There could be billions of different interpretations to this, since ultimately everybody gets to decide for themselves individually. But if you're interested in our suggestions, you could stick around with us. We have a lot to answer. For a friend.